You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
Good evening. My name is Mark Kenlaw, and I'm president here at Rockingham Community College, and I want to welcome you to our respiratory therapy pinning ceremony for the class of 2018. First, I'd like to congratulate our students, now our graduates, for their accomplishment. This is a difficult program. It's been a tough road for them. They have done extremely well, and congratulations to all of you. I also wish you well as you take your licensure exams, and we wish you well in that, and certainly wish you well as you go out to the world of work. I also want to thank our faculty and our staff for the support of our students while they move through this program. Without the faculty and the staff, obviously it's very difficult to, or the quality of our faculty and staff, it's very difficult to produce graduates of this caliber, so I want to thank them. I also want to thank our clinical sites where we do our clinical rotation, and for all the preceptors that are out there, the adjunct faculty that help us to make this program what it is, we certainly thank you. But also very thankful for family members for being here tonight, for your support of our students while they were going through this program, because without support from home, being able to accomplish what they have is very difficult. So thank you for not only coming, but for being supportive of them throughout their time with us. Certainly hope that you enjoy our ceremony tonight, and again, welcome to our college and welcome to this event.
Welcome. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I am proud to introduce our guest speaker, Kristen Samples. Kristen graduated from Fayetteville Technical Community College in May of 2002 with an Associate's in Applied Science in Respiratory Therapy. She has been working in this field for 15 years. She is currently the Clinical Coordinator of Respiratory Therapy and EKG Services at High Point Regional UNC Healthcare. She has been married for 25 years and has 2 children in college. I want to thank Kristen for all she does for our program and for always striving to make sure that our students have the best clinical experience that they can have at her facility. Kristen, if you'll please come up.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you all for having me here tonight. I appreciate that. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you all, the class of 2018. What an awesome accomplishment. Congratulations, ladies. It's my honor to have been chosen to speak with you tonight on this very important night in your lives. When Vicki asked me to speak tonight, I was a little nervous. What could I possibly say to you all that you haven't heard before? I mean, you've been getting advice for 2 years now, especially from respiratory therapists. So what am I going to say to you that's going to have an impact? And Vicki told me that the best advice will come from a heartfelt experience. So let me tell you a little bit about how I became a respiratory therapist. My journey in respiratory therapy began in 1997 with the illness of my 2-year-old son, Jared. I've never felt more helpless in my life than the night he was struggling to breathe and was airlifted to Duke University Medical Center. My own child was in respiratory distress, and there was nothing I could do to help him, and that was a very, very helpless feeling. The next few years of our lives became a blur, It was a blur of hospitalizations, intubations, extubations, and ultimately ended in the tracheostomy of my 3-year-old son. It was a tough time in our lives. During that time, we spent more time in the hospital than we did at home, so the pediatric unit at Duke became our second home. We became very friendly with the doctors and the nurses and, of course, the respiratory therapist. Due to the nature of my son's particular illness, we spent most of our time with the RTs. They eventually became part of our family as well. They were an awesome group of people. It was a very difficult time in our lives, but they were always there encouraging us, my husband and I, especially when times were tough. They were always doing their best to brighten my son's day. You can imagine how tough it is for a 3-year-old being confined to a hospital bed, but they were always talking to him about his cartoons, playing with him. They even introduced him to the infamous saline wars. For those of you who don't know what saline wars are, it's a big giant bullet of saline, and when it's unexpectedly shot at you from across the room, you know you've been hit. When I lost my job in 1998 due to my son's extensive hospitalizations, my respiratory family rallied around me yet again. They encouraged me to go back to school and to become one of them. I thought, how in the world can I possibly go to school? I have a chronically ill 3-year-old and now a newborn at home. I was certain they were all insane. Their words stayed with me, and they were quick to remind me every time they saw me, which was quite frequently. They're a very persistent group of people. With the help and encouragement of my husband and my family, I started taking night classes at a local community college. When all of my prerequisites were complete, I hesitantly applied for the respiratory program. I interviewed with the director of respiratory education, another wonderful respiratory therapist named Ruth Baldwin. I was completely honest with Ruth, and I told her about my situation and my possible future absences. I never imagined that she would admit me to her program. Ruth not only allowed me into her program, but she was my biggest advocate over the next 3 years. Yes, you heard me right. 3 years. 3 long, hard years it took me to complete my course load and all my clinical hours for my associate's degree. It was not easy, but the program director and my clinical instructor, Teddy Jernigan, never gave up on me. They encouraged me to continue on in the program and worked with me when I could not be in class or at clinicals. Yet again, I was blessed by another great group of respiratory therapists. In the end, it took a village, as it does, and I officially became a respiratory therapist in 2002. The past 16 years in this profession has given me moments that I will carry with me and cherish forever. Moments of laughter, joy, tears, frustrations, tons and tons of frustrations. But ultimately, it has blessed me beyond measure. That sweet little boy that began my journey into respiratory therapy is now a happy, healthy 23-year-old man. So, after that, all that to tell you this, back to the advice. What can I offer you as newcomers into this awesome profession? What do I have to say that's different than what anybody else has told you already? In this career, you're going to have tons of ups and downs. Everybody does. Don't ever stay down. Muster up the strength to smile. Be the positive force in somebody's life. You never know whose life you're touching. It could even be the life of a future respiratory therapist. So I'm going to close with my favorite quote from Miss Maya Angelou, and you may have already heard it, but it's an important one. I've learned that people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So good luck to you. I wish you all the best, and I'm going to turn this over to Miss Vicki so she can pin the graduates.
Good evening, and again, welcome to our pinning ceremony. Now we'll begin the pinning of our students. If you're pinning a student, if you would make your way to the stage when I call your student's name. First, we have Carson Agee from Eden, North Carolina. Carson is being pinned by her mother, Tori Jackson, and her boyfriend, Jose Damian. Carson would like to take this opportunity to thank her family, friends, and boyfriend for supporting her through this challenging journey. Their guidance and support have meant the world to her and helped her accomplish her goal of becoming a respiratory therapist. Next, we have Brianna Barnes from Greensboro, North Carolina. Brianna is being pinned by her 8-year-old son, Jock. She would like to quote Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." The Word of God and her son have motivated and inspired her to accomplish everything she has put her mind to. This journey has not been easy. However, it was an experience worth the hard work and sleepless nights, not just for her, but for her son as well. She is excited to start this new chapter in her life, to be helpful, successful, and to continue to accomplish the journey God has chosen for her. Next, we have Reva Bradley from Greensboro, North Carolina. Reva is being pinned by her parents, William and Beverly. Reva would like to thank her family, friends, classmates, and instructors for the words of encouragement and the constant push to be a better person and grow through this process together. She would like to quote Proverbs 3:5 and 6. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight." Next, we have Allie Fetter. Allie is originally from Virginia Beach, but now resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. Pinning Allie will be her Aunt Janice Garrett in memory of her father. Allie would like to give thanks to her husband, Jeff, for supporting her throughout school and always being her biggest supporter. She would also like to thank her family, friends, and coworkers for being so understanding while enduring this journey. In closing, she would like to quote Aristotle, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." Next, we have Sinclair Parker Foltz from Madison, North Carolina. Sinclair is being pinned by her beautiful daughter, Corinne Foltz. Sinclair would like to thank her amazing husband, Lamonzo Foltz, whose dedication and commitment to their shared dreams has made this achievement possible. Tonight is an accomplishment for both of you. She will also be extending special thanks to her entire family. If she expressed the depth of her love and gratitude to all of you for your individual support, we would be here all night. Each and every one of you has given strength, wisdom, and guidance through this program. You have all been witnesses to the tears and joy. Next, we have Shannon Jaggy from Blues Creek. Shannon is being pinned by her sister, Kimberly Johns. Shannon would like to first thank God for allowing her to accomplish such an important goal in her life. She would like to thank her husband, Lionel, and her son, Nicholas, for the many sacrifices they've had to make for her to go to school, for being so understanding during the stressful days and nights that she spent at the kitchen table, studying from the time you both went to bed till the time you got up. We finally made it to the end. And Shannon wants Nicholas to know that if you work hard enough, you will get what you want out of life and to never give up on your dreams. She would also like to thank her parents for all their support over the many years, and she is so thankful that God has allowed her dad to still be here to see her graduate. Thank you, Dad, for hanging on. She would like to thank her, well, wait a minute. She would like to thank her brothers and sisters for always being there when she needed someone to talk to. And to Kimberly, her baby sister, you've been her rock. You've pulled her up every time she was down, which is more times than she can count. And thank you, Kimberly, for coming to take care of her when she had her surgery. She loves you. She would like to quote Timothy 4:7. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the course, and I have kept the faith. And Luke 1:37, with God nothing shall be impossible. Next, we have Amy McKinney from Pelham, North Carolina. Amy is being penned by her husband, Russell, and her son, Holden. Amy would first like to thank her Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for making this achievement possible. She wants to thank all her family for their love and support during this journey, especially her husband, Russell, for manning the fort and taking care of the family when she couldn't be there, and her parents, David and Nora, for shaping her into the woman she is today and always believing in her. Without your guidance and encouragement, she would not have made it. She loves you all very much. Amy would like to quote Esther 4:14. Perhaps this is the moment for which you have been created. Next, we have Whitley Stockenauer from Eden, North Carolina. Whitley is being penned by her papa, Jerry Witt, and her sons, Aiden and Landon. Whitley would like to thank God and everyone in her corner that has provided love, support, and encouragement. She would like to especially thank her grandparents for being her backbone of support. She would not have made it this far without you. Also, a special thank you to the women in this program who have lifted her up when she was discouraged, and to the one who has become one of her best friends, Sinclair. Thank you for everything you have done and still do. She is truly thankful and blessed to have all of you in her life. Next, we have Brittany Van from Burlington, North Carolina. Brittany is being penned by her father, Charlie. She would like to thank her parents and grandparents, her brother Cameron, her friends, and her fiancé Matt for all their unending support through this journey. She would also like to quote her favorite verse from Hebrews 6:15. And so it was that she, having waited long and endured patiently, realized and obtained what God had promised. Next, we have Adriana Wilson. Adriana is originally from Mexico and now resides in Ridgeway, Virginia. Adriana is being penned by her husband, Eric, and her daughter, Karen. Adriana is thankful to God for giving her the gift of life, health, and family. To Eric, her husband, her love, and her friend, thank you for your sacrifice, your support, and your encouragement on every step of her journey, and for turning her dreams into reality. To her kids, Omar, Karen, Kathy, Cameron, Tristan, and Christian, thank you all for being her inspiration, for giving her life a meaningful purpose, for making her realize that it's never too late to become a great achiever. Her family, the very essence of her existence, for each and every one of you that makes her feel an abundance of love in her heart, peace in her soul, and a sense of accomplishment. She is forever grateful. And last, we have Sierra Winter from Reidsville, North Carolina. Sierra is being pinned this evening by her uncle, Charlie Vernon. Sierra would like to thank God, her parents, grandparents, and her work family at Women's Hospital of Greensboro for always supporting her and lifting her up. She would also like to thank her instructors, Vicki and Ruth, for making her a better person and for all their hard work the last 2 years. In closing, she would like to quote Luke 1:45, "Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her." This concludes the pinning. And now, Ms. Allie Fetter, the student representative, has some remarks.
I would first like to begin by thanking everyone for being here today to share this gratifying occasion with the respiratory therapy class of 2018. Friends, family, instructors, preceptors, respiratory therapy department managers, Dr. Kinlaw, Dr. Loudermilk, Mrs. Regan, the Board of Trustees, and the staff of Rockingham Community College, again, we thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here with us. Good evening. My name is Allie Fetter, and I'm the student representative of the respiratory therapy class of 2018. Let me start out by just saying, wow. It has been a very long and incredibly challenging road to get where we are today. As a class, we are a sisterhood that has laughed and cried, put aside our differences, and worked together to come out as one. I know that each and every one of us have spent countless hours and a lot of sleepless nights studying for tests, writing papers, and immeasurably reviewing notes. We endured extremely early mornings for clinical rotation, and most of us were on the road by 5 a.m. to get to one of the 13 hospitals that we were assigned to. I vividly remember Vicki telling us we were going to eat, sleep, and of course, breathe respiratory, and she was not lying. I know each and every one of us sacrificed missing out on time with our loved ones, and with that being said, friends and family, little ones, husbands, boyfriends, significant others, we thank you for being so understanding for the past 2 years and giving us all of the support to get to where we are today. I would like to share a quote that I have continually lived by throughout the length of this program, and I think it put a lot of learning into our perspective. I kept this quote in mind whenever I felt a little bit defeated or was just tired or having an off day. Student, you do not study to pass the test. You study to prepare for the day when you are the only thing between the patient and the grave. This class is now going to be an essential part of what will be between our patient and that grave. I have to say that we have been nothing but blessed to have some of the best instructors in this program, and I personally don't know what I would have done without the guidance from these wonderful individuals. Vicki, I have never met someone so amazingly passionate about what she does and also so thoughtful and considerate of her students. Whenever it comes to her students, we were always her first priority, and she never hesitated to be there for us, even if it was personal or school related. She is a firecracker, and she is not dying down anytime soon. I know I will personally be forever grateful to have come across such a compassionate individual and have taken so much knowledge and wisdom away from this program because of her. And whenever I hear Bruno Mars, you're always going to be the first person I think of. Ruth, I know you're going to miss me spazzing out in lab when it came to checkoffs and today. I'm happy I could give you a good chuckle. We appreciate everything that you have done for us and making sure that we were taken care of during clinical days. And we thank you for being such a great instructor and letting us confide in you if we ever needed anything. Angie and Lauren, thank you for joining the program and helping us at the tail end of our time. I wish we could have shared more educational experiences with you, but I'm thankful for the time that we did have. Angie, you were an awesome preceptor at Alamance, and I always love to see your face come in the break room because I knew it was going to be an awesome day. I know that you will be just as great being the new clinical coordinator. To express our appreciation, we do have some gifts for each of you. If you would please join us on stage, and if I could please have Dawn to the stage to help hand these out. Dawn is our first year representative. Yeah. On that note, that is all I have for this evening. Again, thank you, and I would like to introduce Ms. Regan, the Vice President of Academic Affairs and our Interim Dean of Health and Public Services.
Good evening. I too would like to extend my congratulations to this class and thank the family members and friends and the support team to pull them through. I want to give you a little perspective of what this group has done. When you look at the respiratory therapy curriculum, we count hours. They've spent 602 hours in class in this 2-year journey. 528 hours in lab at a minimum, and 960 hours in scheduled clinical. And we can't quantify all the time you were in lab practicing, driving to and from clinical, right? Staying in the classroom to get some tutoring. So that's an extraordinary commitment. But in my research right before I came over, in North Carolina, the annual mean wage for registered, that's important, registered respiratory therapists, $54,000 to $56,000 a year. Doesn't that sound great? How's that sound, family? So well done, well done. So at this time, I would like to ask the graduates to stand. So audience, I present to you the 2018 respiratory therapy candidates for graduation. Thank you. Please be seated. And I would like to introduce your awesome program director, Ms. Vicki Chitwood, to the stand.
Well, I also would like to thank everyone for being here tonight for this very special occasion. This ceremony means a lot to the students, and it really means a lot to me each year. I want to thank the Board of Trustees, our administration, our faculty and staff, and I have actually seen our faculty and staff here tonight, and folks that I haven't seen before, so thank you so very much for coming tonight. And thank you for what you do for these students, because it's not just the respiratory therapy program faculty, it's the entire campus. Everyone at this campus helped these students succeed, and I would like to thank you. Thank you to the families and friends of these students for sharing these students with us for the last 2 years. Now, they don't know what's coming. To our respiratory therapy students, during this time, I normally speak to you as a group with words of encouragement about our time together. This year, I decided to put my thoughts and feelings to music, because we all know that Vicki likes to dance, and Vicki likes music. We all know that. But this is a very special song that is from my very heart, Angie, Ruth, and Lauren's heart, to you guys. So I ask that you listen carefully to the words of the song that I have chosen for you to know, and to know that we sincerely mean the words in this song. Thank you for sharing your lives with us for the past 2 years. Now to the audience, it's going to be a little bit for them to sit here. So I'd like for you to listen to the words and appreciate the journey that your student has taken over the last 2 years.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold.